Let's check out the Google Pixel Buds Pro. I ordered one online and I just received it just a few days ago. Check out here the Google Pixel Buds Pro. Box is very small, very minimal. I got the lemongrass version, which is basically a little bit of a yellow color. Open this up. And the box is very minimal, but I don't think most people care about the boxing. Honestly, the box is just, you're gonna toss it out anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But let's open this up. Get the full experience, I guess. It's very minimal, white casing. Let's take a look at the case. It's actually pretty small. Yeah, I thought this would be a little larger. White piece of paper to hold it in. Let's look at whatever else is in the box. Something else fell out. With little eyes. Oh, these aren't eyes. These aren't eyes. These are the ear tips. That would make sense. All right, let's see what else is in here. Got a manual. Really hard manual to get out of the paper. Here we go. Let's see. Basic directions, English, Spanish, French. All right, we'll look at that in a few minutes. And obviously, the lovely safety and warning regulatory, the warranty and regulatory guide for the Pixel Buds Pro. If you want, you can sit there and read that. No one ever does. Let's put that off to the side. Let's take a look at the actual product. Oh, let's see here. There we go. So, earbuds. We've all seen earbuds, so let's take a look at the product. All right. Very minimal again, just very small. I mean, for size comparison, that's a standard size mouse. Logitech mouse, I mean, just to give you an idea what it looks like. That will fit in a pocket with no problem. Probably even the little small pocket on your jeans if you really care for that. It's got a pair button on the back. The buds themselves. Already comes with ear tips already put in. It looks like it already has, is this magnetized? Yep, it's magnetized. This is probably a little small for my ears, but we'll do that. Yeah, let's take a look at the other earbuds. Oh, these are really small. And then it goes to really large. Okay, I mean, it's a good average size of earbuds. They're not totally crazy. There's nothing else in here, right? No, nope, nothing else, that's it. It's a really interesting little case. Oh, in here, it's really minimal. Like, there's nothing really here. There's not even a logo, I don't think. Unless the logo is hidden. No. The only logo they have is on the actual buds itself. So it's up on the top. These are really, really small. I thought these would be a little bit bigger. These are actually even smaller than my Jaybirds, so these might fit really nicely in the ear and not show off too much. My Jaybirds, my biggest complaint I had about those was that they kind of like hung out of the ear a little bit too much. So I kind of like the fact that these are really, really small. I also kind of like there's no real big branding, but I know that this case is going to probably get dirty after a week. I have a feeling. Even me just touching it right now, it's kind of getting a little fingerprinty. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a problem, but we shall see. Let's turn on my phone. Let's get it connected to a phone and let's see how it sounds first before we get into the colors and the fit and all that wonderful stuff. So let's open this up. Let's also get the right tips on. I don't think these are going to fit too well. It says, oh, it is labeled right. Okay, so right and left. Left. Right, left. They look pretty good. All right, let's get it connected. First of all, let's connect it. Let's go to Bluetooth. Connect preferences, pair new device. Pixel Buds Pro right there. I don't know if I really want to allow access to my contacts and call history. This is whatever. We'll just pair it without it for right now. Okay, it does tell you, which is nice, it does tell you total battery life. I did hear a little chime in my noise in my earphone. That does mean it is connected. Does it load anything special? Nope, that's turned on, turn off. That's no good. Okay, I did reconnect perfectly. Let's hit settings. It's doing phone calls, audio meter, but not contact sharing. I don't know if you need this on or off. I mean, that's not... We'll have to see if we can try to dial somebody. Close that, we don't need that. Let's also see here. Well, let's hear the sound right out of the box. Let's try playing something. All right. It's pretty good right out of the box. Check the equalizer. Just on a flat line, it's pretty good. Check the volume. It's actually pretty loud. It's pretty good. It sounds pretty good. The basses are good there. It's not too... Let me stop this. I'm probably screaming. Okay. Take these out of my ears because they are... No. It did try to start play again. That's because I took it out of my ear. It has in and out ear functionality. So basically, the sound's really good. I don't see an equalizer besides the regular equalizer in the phone. Sounds really good. It really sounds really good in the highs, the lows. It doesn't sound crackly at all. I think that that's a really good representation of a good set of earphones. Price on these are $199, so you have to really think about that. It paired really easily with my Android device. I'm going to try an Apple device a little later to see how that goes. I didn't like the black colored ones, the charcoal colored ones, because the charcoal colored ones were kind of a muddled black, and I really am not very happy with that type of color. I like the feeling of the case. I like the small portability of it. I do like also the fact that it's USB-C charging. The opening and closing of this is really nice and satisfactory. It's not hard to open, not hard to close. The buds themselves are really small. I do like the fact that they're small enough to fit all the way in the ear. Maybe not a lot of people like that. I do like the fact that it doesn't look like you have huge things flying out of your ear. They do look nice. They do have a very minimalistic appearance. They don't look like they're like this huge, bulging thing coming out of your ear, which is great. I think that that's good. I only tried the regular medium tips. Actually, they fit really well, the medium tips. I thought I'd have to go with a larger tip, but they're actually pretty comfortable at medium. These are a lot more comfortable than my Jaybirds. The Jaybirds are a little bit more pressure feeling, where this is not a very pressure feeling piece. It's very kind of like just a light in the ear feeling. They do have extra tips, the other tips. So the ear tips, you got basically small, medium, which are in here, and then large. I'm going to show the mediums really quickly. Let me see if I can try to get the mediums out. There we go. That's gross. All right, let me put that over here. I'll take this one, pop the medium out. As you can see, the mediums are actually pretty decent. They're not all that small. This is really, really small. Maybe this is for a kid or somebody, or maybe a really small person. This is basically for more of your like regular average. And the average ones will actually fit pretty well. They're not bad at all. They fit directly in the ear. They're easy to put on and off, just right on the speaker portion here. You just slide that on. They're universal left and right, so it really doesn't matter. Just have to pop it on, and then the same thing here, you just slide it on. They are labeled with R and L. I'm not sure if you can see R and L on there. Yeah, you can see it kind of. So R and L for right and left, and they are magnetic, so the nice part about this is that they just slip right in place. You don't have to fight with them. And I really do love this hinge. Hopefully this doesn't break, but probably going to break when I keep playing with it. So earpieces are good, and I like how they're like labeled with smaller ears, bigger ears. They look kind of like eyes, doesn't it? A little bit. Anyway. All right. The product itself is pretty good. I think I'm going to test them out for a few weeks also, but I'm just going to give you the rundown of the hardware so that you guys can get an idea of what's in these and how good they really are based off the hardware. So let's go over colors first, because everybody kind of likes to know about the colors. They come in all different colors. They got charcoal fog, lemongrass, and coral. I hate the names. I'm going to be honest with you, as a guy and a person who just wants to know what color something is, that doesn't help me. So I'm going to break it down to you really simple, because I looked at all the photos to get the real colors, and that is black, gray, light yellow, and light red. That's as simple as you can get. If you like the other names, that's what their official names are. That is charcoal fog, lemongrass, and coral. Some of the other features of the Pixel Buds Pro is active noise cancellation, 31 hours of total listening time, Google Assistant, which we all know that works pretty well. That was also available in the Pixel Buds A series. So that's not really new, but it is available still in this one. Transparency mode, and also wireless charging. Wireless charging and transparency mode are new. So transparency mode is just basically if you have things that are going around you, you could be able to turn that on, and you could be able to hear things around you as you are listening to your music. It kind of just brings the music down a little bit and puts a more concentrated microphone towards the things that are around you. Bluetooth 5.0, IPX4 water resistance. That means that you can't submerge these. You can't put these directly into like a glass of water or something. That would be really bad. It will be able to handle an average amount of sweat or rain or something like that on the outside. You wouldn't want to drop this in a puddle. That would be really bad too. So basically dry them off when you're done working out. Normal amount of sweat, meaning like just a normal amount of like exercise sweat, like if you're working out for like 1 to 2 hours. This should be able to handle that with no problem. You got 11mm dynamic speaker driver, 3 microphones, a voice accelerometer, capacitive touch. Why do they call it capacitive touch? That's just basically tap and swipe. So that's for normal people, okay? I don't know what anybody would call this capacitive touch. So basically tap and swipe for like the controls of how these work. So you can basically turn the volume up, turn the volume down, stop, pause, play. Also, if you take one of the earbuds out, it'll automatically pause. So if you're at the gym and you get someone annoying next to you asking you a question, you could take one of the earphones out and it'll automatically pause your music so you don't lose your spot. Or video. If you're on a video, if you're watching a video, it's the same thing. Charging, very important. It has a USB-C connection on the bottom. It has wireless charging, so if you just put this on top of a wireless charger, it'll start charging by itself. I'm not a very big fan of wireless charging, but since these are earbuds, they're not going to probably take up that much power. I already made a mark on the case. Oh, white cases. Why? Why do they do... There we go. I got it off. All right. Anyway, easy to clean. So the wireless charging, if you put it on top of a wireless charger, it probably will charge these with no problem, because it's such a small amount of battery, and there's a small battery within the earpieces themselves. So probably wireless charging is okay. I'm going to test out C charging and as well as a little bit of wireless charging. I'm not a very big fan of wireless charging though. I've had very bad experiences with the previous first editions of it, and I ended up with my cell phone not having a battery charge for the whole day, and that drove me nuts. But that's a cell phone, and this is kind of a different kind of thing. This is not the end of the world if I don't have it. Battery life is estimated around 11 hours of listening without active noise cancellation, and with active noise cancellation, 7 hours of listening time. I'm going to put this to the test in the next few days. So we'll see if this actually holds up to 7 hours and 11 hours. I'm going to, of course, I can't work out for 11 hours or 7 hours. I'd probably die. I'm not that much in shape, as you can tell. So I'm just going to basically listen to maybe a few movies and maybe use this while I'm doing other projects that I can basically see how long, and I'll actually run you know, timer to really see how long that would go for. Charging for the case, you'll get up to 31 hours with charging case for non-active noise cancellation. With active noise cancellation, you get 20 hours of listening time with the case. This is after 2 weeks of using the Pixel Buds Pro. I use them in the gym. I use them while I'm working on just programming, or if I'm just want to watch a movie or something on my my Android tablet or my phone. There's a lot of positives. I think for the price range, you're going to be very happy with this type of product. So the bass is great. So if you are all about that bass, then you're basically, you could purchase these Pixel Buds Pros and feel very confident about it. The sound itself is very clear. It is very, I don't want to say loud, but loud enough so that you can clearly hear all of the music. It is not extremely loud, but it, again, if you bring the volume all the way up past kind of like the danger point of volume, you will definitely be able to hear everything very clearly and very understood. It doesn't really go to like a garbled point, which is great. It just goes more than high enough for if you want to drown out any music in the background. Very clear on all levels, including the bass. The bass is decent on this. This is not the most bass I've ever heard on a pair of headphones, but for in-ear headphones, these are really excellent. There's a transparency mode. When active, it does allow you to hear important voices around you. I've used this mode about 7 to 8 times, and honestly, it's just easier to take the headphone out and it just goes to automatic transparency mode. Like if you take one earphone out, it'll actually switch. If you switch it in the app, it'll actually allow you to go to transparency mode for the other ear. So you can still technically hear the music and still have a conversation with somebody, or you could just turn on transparency mode with both headphones in, and it'll allow you to hear important people around you talking. In a gym, I don't recommend the transparency mode because it actually picks up bass music very loudly, and it actually comes over through the transparency mode. So I would probably recommend more of turning that off and turning on the active noise cancellation during that time. So this is a positive and a negative. It does work really well. It's just, it only works really well in certain circumstances. If you're on, let's say, a bus, or if you're walking around the town, you can still hear the traffic, you can still hear a horn, you can still hear people talking, but it still drowns out most of that stuff and kind of keeps towards your music, which is really what's more important. But it gives you enough understanding of what's going on so you don't injure yourself, I guess. So that's one option. Now the fit, I have to talk about the fit because it's really important. The Pixel Bud fit, the plastic that they're using is just an amazing product, and I can wear these for about a good, I'd say about a good 4 hours before my ears start to maybe have a slight itch to them. And honestly, that's not bad. Most of the other in-ear headphones that I have used, after about 1 to 2 hours, I have issues. So this has been the most long-lasting one. The plastic is really good on here. The fit is really good. So I don't also have to turn the volume up too high to be able to listen to music comfortably. So, and I say music, but I also watch a lot of videos with this. You know, movies are decent. Video is good. If you're working out, sweat rating level or the water efficiency level for this is decent, but you still have to clean them off. You know, obviously at the end of a workout, you should probably just, you know, wipe them off on a towel or something. You really can't, you can't dip these in water, but you can take the plastic pieces off, like the little plastic fit pieces, and you can wash those in water and then put them back on, dry them and then put them back on. There's no pressure feeling. Where with a lot of the other in-ear headphones I have a lot of different types of feeling of like a missing, when you're missing that air gap, and you just feel like a lot of pressure on your head. Now this is something that I noticed more when I'm watching a movie, because when I'm watching a movie I might want to have some popcorn or I want to eat something, and it's usually when I'm chewing. I usually can hear myself chewing with other headphones. This headphone, there's no chewing noise, so that makes it a better product, because I can at least this way use it more often in a regular daily setting, not just at the gym or whatever, but more for leisure. So that really is the big difference. I don't know what the plastic is that they're using there. It's got to be some miracle plastic or something that just makes it not be annoying, and it seems like they really took a lot of time and effort to sculpt that. Taking out one of the headphones while watching anything or listening to anything will automatically pause your media, which is nice. It'll also turn on, if you want, you can have it turn on the transparency mode for the other earphone. So if you took, let's say, your right one out, the left one would go to transparency mode automatically. It's a nice feature. It's not something that I've seen again on a lot of other in-ear earphones. So they do have an option for usually taking one out, just pauses the media, but it doesn't usually turn on transparency. The only bad thing is that you have to load the app. So if you don't have an Android device and you have an iPhone, I don't know how good of the experience would be on an iPhone. I have a feeling the experience is going to be a little less on an Apple device. The battery life is great. I'm estimating about, the last time I used these, I was estimating about 5 hours of playtime on the actual earphones themselves before I had to put them in the charging case. Transparency mode off, and it's just basically a noise cancellation is on. Yeah, that's a decent amount of time. That's plenty of, that's a full-length movie. In some movies, anything over 2 hours is pretty decent. Then when you put them back into the charging case, you get about another good 2 to 3 full charges out of the charging case before you actually have to plug them back into a USB-C connection, or you can just leave them on a wireless charger. The wireless charging I did test, but I'm not very happy with. But then again, I'm not very happy with any wireless charging. It's just very slow to charge. Now, I may be using an older wireless charger. You know, the newer wireless chargers are supposed to be a little bit better. They're supposed to offer a lot more wattage. So your experience may vary. I don't have a problem with plugging in a USB-C connection and just powering it from a USB-C and charging it quickly. You know, the cable does charge it up pretty fast. I'd say about a good 30 to 40 minutes, and you got a decent charge on the headphones themselves and as well as the case. You really don't need to go to full max unless you want to leave it plugged in for about an hour. If you leave it plugged in for about an hour, it does fully charge up everything. Now, it might be less than an hour. I didn't really time it. I didn't think it was necessary, because honestly, if you're going to leave it plugged in, you're probably going to leave it plugged in for about an hour anyway. The voice assistant on here is really excellent. The minute it comes on, it can hear you. The microphone is excellent on here. It will actually respond really well. Now that may be also, I'm using Android 11 on my cell phone, which is not the most newest Android, but it has been working really well with direct voice assistant to the phone. I do like the fact that it gives you an option to have to turn on voice assistant. So you may want to, I have it on so that basically you have to hold the button down on the earpiece for it to actually, you know, initiate the voice assistant. And while you're making, you know, while you're talking to the voice assistant, you have to hold down the earpiece. Normal phone calls, excellent noise cancellation, wind cancellation. You can make a phone call, the person can hear you, you don't sound like you're underwater. It's clear enough to make a call for, you know, whatever time you know, for as long as your battery holds out. The battery doesn't consume more by using a phone call versus music versus a video. It doesn't matter, it's the same about a battery length. So let's go into the negatives. There's only a few negatives very quickly. You definitely need to load the app to get the advanced features. So I tried to do it without the app, and I didn't have a great experience without the app. With the app, I had a much better experience. There's also a fit test that automatically makes sure that you have the right earpiece for your ear. So it allows you to do a quick test that plays back music in your headphones, and it does a quick test to make sure that you're hearing it correctly and that the fit is correct. So it does go through a little bit more of a setup for you, and that experience is kind of nice. That's a little different than what I'm usually used to with earphones, where like they just kind of leave you in the wind. So in the Pixel Buds Pro area, I also renamed my Pixel Bud here. So I've also renamed it Fairy Pixel Dust Pro because it's just funny. And it shows you the charge times, you know, left, right, the case charging. So right now I've got 100% across everything because I just charged it up. The default is pretty bad. So if you notice, like, swipe forward is raised volume, swipe backwards is lower volume, single tap is play, pause, or answer call, double tap is next track or reject call, triple tap is previous track. And then touch and hold is the assistant. On the touch controls, I'm not very happy with the touch controls, but it doesn't seem to be a way of changing this, which is kind of disappointing. But yeah, there's only one way. I kind of got used to it. Swipe backward is lower volume. In other words, like when you're taking the earbuds and you're swiping this way. Swipe forward is to raise the volume, so you're going from the back of your ear to the front of your ear, and that is swiping forward, and that's raising your volume. It's, again, not bad. It's just, it's not a deal breaker for the buttons to be a little screwy. This is kind of what they have for the layout. I don't see a way of changing it. Maybe they might have that in the next release or something, but that is not a way of changing that. Now, the other one I did change is in the customized touch and hold area. I don't like to toggle the active noise cancellation. I'd rather talk to the assistant. So I've switched those both to talk to assistant. You could also turn on or off the active noise cancellation in this one area. You can also turn it off totally. You can also turn on transparency or leave it off. I like the active noise cancellation. I also like to leave transparency on off. And this is probably me like being a little loud when I'm talking right now, because I can't hear myself. I'm in active noise cancellation mode. It's not a bad app. It's just, I feel like it's not fully complete. There are some interesting options like the ear tip seal check, which does work really well. Now, of course, they said you want to try a larger ear tip seal check, but I'm kind of comfortable with these, but I just ran the test really quickly. That's why I'm going to be quiet. But the firmware is easy to update on this. The in-ear detection is pretty cool. You can also turn that off if you want. That is allowing you to stop and pause and play when you put the earphone in and out. The app itself definitely needs some work, but at the current time, it is pretty good. It is not bad for what it is. I just wish there was a little more customization on the buttons, but honestly, it's not a deal breaker. The buttons, after you get used to it, it's perfectly fine. It's not, I'm being a little bit picky about this. I think that the button layout is perfectly fine. I'm just not used to the first button push to be play or pause. I'm used to the first button push to be next track. So that's a little bit weird, but honestly, again, not a deal breaker when it comes to the headphone. The quality of the headphone is so much better. It's not a big deal. Plus, I don't know how many times when I have my phone out in front of me when I want to hit the next track or I want to search through the tracks, because I usually not use the next track button. What I'll do is I usually use my phone and then I just kind of scroll through the list and then find what I want to play next. I really am not a person that does a lot of playlists, but you know, I guess if you do a lot of playlists, you'll want to use that next track button. I usually just turn on like Amazon Music or Google Music and just let it go through like a station and play through a station. But most of the time, if I'm playing through a station even, I want to scroll through the music because I don't want to keep hitting next track, next track, next track. I would prefer to be able to just skip down to the music that I want to play or whatever I liked. You know, if I start to like a lot of stuff, that's a different story too. So, but you need your phone out to do that anyway. So, I also use the voice assistant a lot with the push down button. The default when you push down the voice assistant with the Pixel Buds Pro in your ear, it will tell you your messages that you currently have. It'll repeat them as well as the weather and the time. You can set that on your Google Assistant on your phone and let it know which one you want it to do for default operation, or you could just start to ask your question or ask to do whatever you want to do. Now the Google Assistant, that is a whole video in itself because I use a lot of the advanced features and I don't even think a lot of people even know half of the stuff that you can do with it. It does save a lot of time than having to keep rechecking calendar or keep rechecking the messages on a daily basis, it does make it a lot faster that it'll just notify you that something is happening. If you have a Google Watch or any watch that is associated with this, it'll also, the Google Assistant can integrate it with that as well. We will have a video on the Google Watch. I got one for my wife, so we might be able to do that. That will be an upcoming video. But right now, let's talk about the price. The price of the Pixel Buds Pro right now is on sale for $149.99 on the Google Store. They're typically $200. There's also the Pixel Buds A series, which is a little older. Well, not even older, I'd say it's just they took out a few things, and that is $99. For the $50 difference, in my opinion, I would go with the Pixel Buds Pro because it has the noise canceling. It has a bunch of features that the Pixel Buds A series does not have. But for $200, which is the regular price, or in other words, the $100 more, I would weigh my options, because the Pixel Buds A series, if you don't need noise cancellation and you don't need a few of the other features that they removed, you can save the $100 when you go to that version instead. But if you can get them on sale, I would go with the $149 price, and they're a perfectly good headphone. They're decent sounding. They're also very small. They do fit in a regular pocket. They'll fit in your bag with no problem. The only thing I don't like about this case is that it's white, and I've already kind of scuffed it up already. And I mean, luckily there's the little dirt or whatever it is coming off the case pretty easily, so it's not impossible to clean. I haven't seen the case change color. It looks like it's just the regular white case. There's nothing very special here, but it hasn't like modified in color. Like, it hasn't gone to yellow or anything like that. It hasn't also picked up any dyes from being in my case or being in my pocket once in a while. I rarely leave these in my pocket. I kind of leave these more in my backpack when I'm going anywhere or on a table or something. I'm not much of a person to put this in my my jean pocket or something, or my back pocket. So I don't know if it's going to really rub off over time, like, colors and stuff will attach to it. But right now, it's pretty good. I'm able to clean it easily. There's no, nothing's really sticking to this or anything like that. Pairing process was pretty simple and easy. The button on the back, I'm not sure if you can see that. I'll put it cover my face. There we go. Come on. Focus. There you go. There's a little button here on the back, and that button basically allows you to pair the device with any device. So as long as you turn on your Bluetooth, it should work with no problem. Now, when I connect these to an Android device, they are quick to connect. When I connect them to a computer, they are also pretty quick to connect. The only negative point is that these are Bluetooth 5.0, so not every computer has Bluetooth 5.0, but every phone or mobile device would probably have it, so there should be no issue. If you have any questions about these, you can comment off in the section below. If you want to know where you can purchase them, I have a link below that just goes right to the Google Store. You can purchase them right there. They do ship pretty quick. Well, in New York at least, they ship pretty quick. I don't know how long it'll take to get to you. Obviously, that depends on where you are. But they were shipping pretty fast, and I got them pretty quick here. And they're a really good pair of headphones for the price. So I would recommend picking them up. Again, I don't know the iPhone experience. I will see if I could try to test the iPhone experience and see if it's good. If it is, I'll try to maybe follow up in the comments with if it worked out pretty well. Yep, till the next one, subscribe, like, make sure if you have any questions about this or anything else, be sure to leave a comment. We do look at them, and we do read them, and we do answer them. So till the next one, have a great day.